Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Jeff. I am a full-time artist, illustrator and maker. On this channel, I go through and share with you all of the different creative projects that I am working on. I do creative prompts as a source of idea generation, and I also share the tips and tricks that I learn along the way. In today's video, I'm announcing that I have completed my Jeff World illustration project, which I'm really excited about, and I love the final outcome too. In case you don't know what this Jeff World project is, I asked people to submit portraits of themselves, and what I would then go and do is create an illustrated version of them. And once I had all of these portraits complete, I then went and collaged them into one large file and created this Jeff World, almost like a Where's Wally, where everyone is in it and it's almost like they're being Jeffified and thrown into my Jeff World. This is the third video in a series, so I will link the two other videos in the show notes below. So the first one is me talking about the project, why I was doing it, my inspiration, the logistics of how I was going to work it out. The second video is an update from the first batch of illustrations that I did. And this video is showing you the final batch of illustrations, also the final artwork, and I'm going to go through and reflect on where I could take the project from now. And also, I guess I'm announcing a little freebie for the people who did submit their portrait. I wanted to give something back to you, so I also have put that in at the end, so stick around if you want your little freebie. I'm going to put up now a reminder of where the artwork was sitting as of October 2024. I had about a third, I guess, of the artworks drawn, and I knew I needed around 25 or so more to complete it. I ended up with 32 submissions, but I was okay with just doing all the portraits that people had submitted. The form is now closed, so no one else can submit. So yeah, everyone who submitted has had themselves Jeffified and put into Jeff World. The process of doing all the portraits was fun. It was. It definitely got to a point where I was like, oh my god, I still have 10 left. But I guess that's normal when you are doing a lot of something. Some of the portraits I did find hard to do because the photos weren't full-bodied. They had either a colored lighting over the top of them, so I couldn't necessarily see what their skin color was like. And so I just had to have fun with the idea of how I did their portraits and turning them into fun creatures. Some people didn't have their legs in the photo, so I had to make up what they were wearing, or I had to put them in some kind of like tunnel little thing that they're poking their body out of, so I didn't have to draw it. Yeah, I guess that's just the nature of doing portraits where people are submitting photos, that not everything is going to be really easy and given for you, but I'm really happy with how they all turned out. There's a really wide mix of styles as well, which was something that I wanted to play around with, was working out which style of illustration I really liked for this kind of work. There's some that have got really graphic outlines, others that don't. There's some that are really like warped perspective and have a lot more fun in their poses, I guess. If someone was in like an interesting pose, I really went to town in playing with that. Others had really awesome outfits or like textures and patterns within their clothes, so I really focused on playing around with that. Hair was really fun to play with, and the different ways of showing curly versus straight hair versus colored hair. I even got to draw a pony, which I wasn't expecting. I spent roughly between 30 minutes to an hour on each one, really depending on how fast I was working, how much I got lost in the moment, or even just depending on how much the body I had to draw. The difference between styles don't necessarily impact a lot in how much time it takes to draw them. Both the outlined and the non-outlined kind of took similar amount of time. It just differed as to like where I was spending most of the time doing the detail, which I found quite interesting, and I probably wouldn't have realized that until doing a project like this where I'm doing lots and lots of the same thing over and over and creating sort of like a system or like the workflow on my iPad. I started to realize there was a process to it. One of the aims for this project was to try and see how quickly I could do portraits that still felt like me and still felt like it was within my style and still of substance that someone would want to have their portrait done. But working out how quickly I could potentially think about the idea of doing more live drawing at events or doing custom portraits for people and understanding what that could look like. And again, this project has allowed me to get a little bit more clarity on one, would I want to do it, which is yes, and two, how much time would it take to do it, and that can help me work out how much I'm going to be charging. So I guess it's time to reveal the artwork. Now I've shown you all of the portraits, and let's do that now. Ta-da! Do you like it? I'm really in love with it. I really love having this new A3 printer. It's definitely allowed me to explore my illustration so much more and think about just like the quality of the print that I'm able to do is allowing me to move more into illustrative work. And yeah, I'm just really happy with the way that it looks. I think it could look really amazing, even bigger. I was going to print it as A3, but then I decided not to. I don't really need to. So as you can see with the artwork, I still kept in the Jeff World arch, although you can't really see it, which is why I ended up literally going back tonight and just like doing one without the arch in it. So it's just a blank slate versus one with like in the Jeff World. And to be honest, I like this one more without the Jeff World. I think because you can't see the archway, there's no grass in it anymore. It's kind of like, what is Jeff World just sitting there? Maybe if it was floating text, I could like it more. But for this project, I'm perfectly happy with this. But I think this is also really, really strong. The process of putting all the portraits in was a little bit complicated, just making sure I'm layering everyone up. At first, I was really fixated on making sure everyone was at the same scale and maybe playing with like larger in the foreground at the bottom, smaller as you move to the background, which I think it's a type of perspective, but I can't remember what it's called. I was really focusing on that, and then I realized I really don't need to. It's not something that people are going to pick up on, so I just decided to wing it a little bit and just go off eye. And if someone needed to be a little bit bigger, I made it bigger, tweaked sort of the positioning so there wasn't as much gaps. And yeah, I love it. Welcome to Jeff World, everyone. Maybe I should do it with that one. Welcome to Jeff World. I also quite like seeing them together, and I'm thinking, could this be a repeat pattern? Or like hoardings for a building, or something like that. So I bet you're all wondering what the free thing is. For everyone who has submitted their portrait and is in this, you are going to be getting an email, or maybe you've already got it. I think I'm going to send out the email the same time that this launches. And you're going to have an email that has a link to a folder where all of these artworks are sitting, and you can find your portrait, you can download it, and you can have a free copy of your portrait and the artwork to do with what you will, to display it on your wall, to save it on your phone, whatever you wish. I just wanted to give it to you as a present to thank you for submitting to this project. It's really amazing and I'm really grateful. It was kind of nerve-wracking announcing this project and wondering if people would actually submit a photo or if I'd be left with like no one and I just have to draw like random pictures of people on the internet. But no, you all were amazing and I'm just really grateful that all these people wanted to be a part of this project. So to say thank you, yes, go read your emails. The last thing I want to go through is a reflection on this project, which is obviously something I do with every project. And I think it's a really important thing to do. So thinking back to what my aims were for this, there was the following. I wanted to get better at drawing figures, which tick, yes. I wanted to also feel more confident drawing figures, which yes, I can confidently say that. I wanted to try and work out if I could create a more simplified version of my portrait style and in turn turn it into something that I could do as life drawing or for client projects, which I haven't necessarily made a simpler version, but I now understand how long it will take to do a drawing of this level and I can now quote on it a whole bunch easier. So that definitely is been resolved, and I also now have examples of work to show clients to be like, this is what you could expect. So yes, tick tick. And could this turn into client work? I kind of just answered that, and yes it could. I could see this kind of approach of a big artwork, collage artwork of people working really well for like music festivals, for potential like community arts projects. I think there is a lot of opportunities for this. So I think that's a pretty good result for this project. And this is just another really clear example of how YouTube has really helped me evolve my arts practice, and it's been a really beneficial thing for me to do. If any of you have seen my very first YouTube video or spoken to me about YouTube, my aim has always been that I'd never really spent enough time on my own personal projects. I'm always spending majority of my time working for clients and doing client work, and I found that that really impacted my personal arts practice. By focusing so much on my client work, I really wasn't able to focus on evolving my creative style, evolving my practice, exploring art for art's sake, and just like being creative. And when I started doing YouTube, my aim was to start to do smaller projects and dedicate a bunch of time to doing this for myself, documenting it in the process, and then knowing that I've got this like archived video of this project there. And if I want to take it into client work, I can, or if I just want to have footage to show that it existed, then that's also fine too. And this is why I love it. This is probably the third project now that I've done on this channel that has allowed me to do something that like it probably would have taken me years to get around to doing this, if at all. But because I put it into a project that I'm doing for this channel, it gave me the motivation to slowly chip away at it and know that, okay, I'm going to eventually have it done. And as organized and motivated as I am as a person, I feel like it's a completely newfound skill that I've developed in just like the last year and a half of getting through that creative block or that motivation block of saying, oh, I have all these ideas and I never know when I'm going to do it. Now when I think of that, I just go, okay, let's take one of these and turn them into a project for a YouTube video. So in a long-winded way, I'm saying if you're able to dedicate the time to your own creative practice, it might be 1 hour a week, 1 hour a month, whatever. Hopefully you will start to see your love for your creativity grow more. You'll start to get new inspiration, and it's just like a really good feeling. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Make time to do your own work. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're feeling lost, just do projects. Yeah. All right, it's getting late. I'm going home. Hopefully you really enjoyed this video, and if you did, feel free to leave a comment in the little chat below. If you want to connect on Instagram, feel free to add me on there. I'm usually posting a whole bunch more behind the scenes stuff on my Instagram. And until the next video, thank you, and to everyone who submitted to the Jeff World project, go check your emails now. All right, bye.